bookmark bar. Bingo. All right, Naz, if you will do your thing.
All right, as we are to do when we read documents from CIG directly, we like to read the headers because it denotes what exactly the purpose of said document is. So, with the Roadmap Roundup, this is the standard opener, and it says, Happy Wednesday, everyone! Every 2 weeks, we accompany the Roadmap update with a brief explanatory note to give you insight into the decision-making that led to any changes. This is part of an effort to make our communications more transparent, more specific, and more insightful for all of you who helped make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 possible. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into this week's Roadmap Roundup, the community team, CIG community team.
Sorry, I'm adjusting my camera real quick. Let's see. Oop, nope. Sorry, that was bothering me, so I have to fix it. My OCD was like, what is wrong here?
Do it live.
There we go. That looks better. I looked really short. My head was like halfway up the frame, so. So, notable changes, and I'll talk. I'll go over this first bit for the release view, and then for 323, and then Naz, if you'll go over the 323.x bit.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm talking to my wife. She was handing me the Beatty monitor. But yes, thank you, Nazeris, for being here and being a part of the team. Notable changes for April 3rd, 2024. Release view. The following features have been added to the release view, targeting a 323.0 release. So that's the important bit right there. And the first is Fauna Copion. Populating the persistent universe with the Copion, an aggressive, agile animal that travels in packs. You'll find them in a variety of areas, from grassy fields to lurking in the darkness of caves. Hey, MyArk07, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this evening. Hope you're doing well.
Is the naming a play on copium?
That would actually be really funny. Like, okay, so you know how so we're going to get into that, but there's creature hunting.
Yeah.
But down at the bottom, kill and retrieve valuable parts. What if you have to retrieve the copium sack from the copium in order to maintain
just
the supply?
The blood of the copium beast,
Mm-hmm.
it still works the same way, like some venom of the copium beast or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It can infect backers without warning, and
also just the hunting copium.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hilarious.
There we go. That looks better. Sorry, I'm OCDing on my camera.
Sure.
But yeah, so they kind of remind me of jackals, right?
That makes sense. Yeah, I can see
that. Jackals, but they've got horn-looking things.
Do they have horns?
Here, let's.
You didn't post the video in the window, did you?
Citizen Copion, and I want the. Oh, I should have pulled up
There you go.
That post. Is that what that is?
I just sent it to you.
Bingo.
I cannot believe after all of the teasing of the stupid Kazi Grazers, we're not getting the Kazi Grazer.
Yeah, first. I think it's probably due to they want Kazi Grazers to come with ranching or farming or outposts or something. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna put those out in the wild, but
we've seen them in the wild so many times.
So here's the.
I think these are just the betas, the beta animals.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the.
See, it has a horn on the nose.
Yeah.
That's the noise I make in the morning before I've had my coffee. So, just like I refuse to call Twitter X, in my house it will always be Twitter. Um, I'm not going to call the bird things the Maroc. It is the Turbo Pelican. And it will always be the Turbo Pelican. And if you call it the Maroc in my house, I'm going to correct you. So, but yeah, I saw people calling it the Turbo Pelican and the Turbodactyl, and I'm like, I don't know which I like better, but I'm just gonna roll with the Turbo Pelican. Um, so yeah,
Great.
but it's
All the years of hard work on the lore team naming all this crap. What is that? That's the dropship. It's called
yeah.
the Valkyrie. What is that? That's the gunship. It's a constellation. What is that? That's the Turbo Pelican. It's a murder. All the years of schooling that they had to do, all the years of writing fantastic stories and lore, all of their names out the window.
It looks like a pelican, and because it's like in space, we're gonna put turbo in front of it, and
No, it's the Star Pelican.
it
Star
so
Pelican and Star Puppy.
if you follow the leaks, they did have the animal description that's in game in there, and they talked about where you'll find it for the Copion and the Maroc, but they're like basically all over, and so it makes me wonder if they are giving them free range right now, and basically saying they're all over the planet until there's more creatures, and then when they add more creatures, if they'll like restrict what biomes they're in.
I wonder if Planet VTech 4 or 5, Planet VTech 5, as they've mentioned in the monthly reports, I think just this last one, that they want to do a lot more with ecosystem. I wonder if they're going to be adding a system for animal-specific support for ecosystems, and specifically pecking order ecosystems. So you can actually have animals fighting animals and actually having a sustainable ecosystem as far as fauna goes.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's like how they get distributed. Like, will they put in, tags on the different creatures that say what sort of biomes or weather conditions they're in, and then the procedural system will say, okay, they're distributed here, here, and here, and then they really don't go out of these areas. We in Walker 300, we haven't gotten the lore on these. They just got added to the roadmap, and so we don't have the lore for them. I imagine that's going to come with 323 to tell us more about where they came from. But
which,
correct me if I'm wrong, but they're on both Microtech and Hurston.
Yes, because it says you'll find them in grassy fields and lurking in dark caves. So grassy fields is the only place we have grassy fields is Microtech. But we also saw them on Hurston in the Twitter clip, so it makes sense that they'd be in a lot of places. So I'd like to remind everyone that
what's the Maroc going to look like when it's T-posed with its wings out?
Oh my god! That they already confirmed that 323.0 is going to be out previous to obviously Invictus launch week, which means they only have technically 4 weeks to go. Which means I assume pretty soon this week, next week, we're getting Wave 1. And we can actually start working on that. So around that time, we'll be getting the lore ups for all these things. So far, I have not seen them add distribution centers to the version yet. I've been keeping up with the Evocati patch notes, and I have not seen that go in. So we still might have a few casualties of patch. Keeping that in mind. But you want to finish out that so we can talk about 323X?
Yeah. So Fauna Maroc, populating the persistent universe with the Maroc, a passive flying bird-like creature. Marocs live in flocks and are often found near lush green environments. The other thing that I don't remember where I saw it, but I read that the Maroc is part of is the first of the Boids, and so the Maroc is handled differently than the Copion. In terms,
so it's a test for both systems.
Yeah, exactly. It's the initial of creatures and the initial for Boids, essentially. And then new missions, creature hunting. New missions that require players to locate, kill, and retrieve valuable parts of creatures roaming the environment. As much as I think these are going to be, fun,
Yay,
probably
more hides.
probably going to get old pretty quickly. I'm looking forward to when we can capture them. Like I want to capture it and put it in a cage and sell them. Or you know, how do I tame a copion so it'll protect my ship? Or how do I tame a Marok so it will ride on my shoulder like a parrot or something? Yeah.
You know, what'd be great way to do that is actually having to take it to like a tamer. So you have to capture it in like a specific cage or at some type of containment device, and then have to take it to tamers and the best tamer in the game should be a Banu. So you have to capture whatever you're trying to tame, and then take it to tamers, and different tamer NPCs would have different levels of skill, and the best one in the game is a Banu. So you have to take it over to Banu space and say, "Hey, I need you to tame this whatever animal," and then you kind of hand it over to him and wait whatever timer it is, and you have to go pick up your animal now that actually follows commands and things.
That'd be cool. Let it bite him instead of me.
BMM's gonna be a zoo.
There's poop
most zoos
everywhere.
don't. Gotta get them shovels in game.
Yeah.
Oh boy! All right, so moving on to 323X, which otherwise known as 323-1. They're not fooling anyone. Also known as the Invictus Launch Week patch. Vehicle modularity. This is not confirmed. This is just hypothesis, tinfoil hats on, obviously. But I'm pretty sure 323X and these two things are coming with Invictus, and there'll all be a big show of Invictus stuff.
Invictus is always a .x patch of the of the Q1 patch. It always is.
Right, so vehicle modularity, implementing the ability to swap modular sections of certain vehicles to change their function. This initial release contains the torpedo and cargo room for the modules, torpedo and cargo room modules for the Aegis Retaliator, with additional modules and vehicles to be added in the future. Wow, I cannot read that sentence apparently. So we'll be talking about all of that, vehicle modularity, what ships, what modules, in the next section. So stay tuned for that. And we also have the Aegis Retaliator Gold Standard being updated in this patch as well, updating the Aegis Retaliator to Gold Standard, including the introduction of modular rooms. The torpedo and cargo rooms will be available in the initial release, with more to come in the future. And then
so basically they're introducing the Retaliator base alongside the Retaliator bomber, but they're giving you the ability to swap between the two and configure around a little bit. So it'll also be interesting to me with the changes to cargo, because I forget what the number was. I want to say it was like 48 or 64 or something like that, but what the SCU was for the Retaliator with the cargo modules before, and if that has held true, if it's changed, what that ends up.
I hope they're elevators. I really hope they're elevators.
Yeah, I agree. That would make
there's no way to having to ferry one SCU or at most two SCUs up those skinny little elevators. I hope they're drop elevators. Anyway, to
it
finish
could make
off,
for pretty quick loading and unloading too.
Yeah. No progress tracker this week, as what continues on long-term planning for future insights into the planning efforts. Our production team, we invite you to the last letter of the chairman. And in that letter for the chairman, they mentioned that the reason we're not getting the progress tracker updates is because they're actually planning out all the way and confirming the entire roadmap all the way up to 1.0. So until that happens, we're not getting any progress tracker because everything is moving a lot. So when something happens 12, 24 months down the road on the long roadmap, it's going to have domino effects back into the roadmap or back into the schedule. So they're confirming the entire roadmap. Generally, I don't know how detailed, how.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to give us dates. I think they're going to give us phases.
And I still think we're going to have the original progress tracker, maybe with a bit of polish on it. And we'll be seeing that, and we'll like normal, reveal the upcoming schedule, but they're trying to internally confirm the entire road to 1.0 before they start telling us, so that even less stuff comes off the progress tracker or the release views as we continue forth to 1.0.
Yeah, like I don't think they're gonna give us a 3-year release view, but I think they'll tell us like, okay, here's phase one, and then phase two and phase three. These are the things that we want to get in, on the way to 1.0. They won't give dates, they won't give patch numbers for when they're targeting for that until it is. They're going to probably continue what they've been doing with the patches,
Yeah.
and and then just tick the things off.
So the
But
progress, I think we'll get it before CitizenCon. I really
yeah,
do.
they did say that they're
Because
going to give us that roadmap later in the year, aka CitizenCon. That's what that means.
yeah, I think we'll
But
get the road to 1.0 at CitizenCon, but the progress tracker will start being published after they've solidified the 1.0 road.
yeah, and yeah, because what Jake said, and I don't have the link up, but he did say in one of the comments for the Spectrum post of the roadmap, he did say that they were looking at a more near term update to the progress tracker once near term plans are more solidified. So basically,
I
like
hope
to me,
they're
what that
fighting to
means,
finally get the progress tracker removed. What do you mean get it removed?
I
They've
think,
confirmed it's not going anywhere.
yeah, it's not going. The progress tracker isn't going anywhere. The progress tracker is a great tool if you know how to use it.
PT's not coming out. PT is never coming out. It was a demo. They canceled the game before it was ever out.
So the
For those who don't know, PT was a demo of a prototype of a game I believe Kojima was working on, and it didn't go anywhere, and they canceled the project. I think it was Silent Hill. I think it was a Silent Hill game, but it was a prototype, and they canceled it and stuff. PT's not coming out.
I think what
Not
we're
to the
looking
project.
at in term is a like say they have the near term planning for the schedule done, in the next quarter. And so they'll be able to say, okay, for the rest of this year, we have the upstream team schedule out to the end of 2024. Because normally they give us that schedule a year in advance for the upstream teams.
Hmm.
They show what they're scheduled for, and the downstream teams are 1 quarter. So, say if they updated it in June, we get um, the progress tracker up to that point filled in, as well as the next quarter for the downstream teams, and then get the upstream teams out through the end of 2024. But the progress tracker really isn't important right now because we know what they're working on. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to be told what each team is working on right now because they told us at CitizenCon what they're going to be doing over the next year. All those
And
things.
basically everything what they're
Yeah,
doing over the next year.
yeah. All that what they're working on from CitizenCon forward for a year is bringing Star Citizen up to feature parity with Squadron 42, and the reintegrating the feedback and everything that they get from us on those features back into Squadron 42 as part of leading up towards release.
And
So
we have nothing on the progress tracker since
yeah,
December.
and so we don't really need an update of the progress tracker until they get past that work because we know what things they're working on and they tell us about what they're working on in each monthly report, and we know what's in the next patch. So and basically we can just take that list from CitizenCon, remove the stuff from it, remove 323 from that list. Okay, this is what's left. All right, that's 4.0, 4.1, and we see those things already being worked on in the monthly report. So it's like it's not super helpful information right now, but it will be helpful again once they get past that period of reintegrating everything from Squadron into the PU, to bring it up to feature parity, because they that's the thing they want to get is they want the PU to be as to have all the same features and have the same experience as Squadron, plus all the PU features on top of that. And so that's this year in a nutshell.
Yep.
Um,
And to confirm, I don't know if anyone has this doubt, but even though Squadron is feature complete and is technically is about to be or is somewhere near content complete, when Star Citizen gets all the features from Squadron, it doesn't mean it's going to be at the same state because there are features and gameplay things that the MMO Star Citizen needs that Squadron does not. And so 1.0 is going to be a little bit longer run even after we get all these Squadron features come over. So
Yep.
building interiors, that's confirmed as a 1.0. Base building confirmed as a 1.0, not waiting to 1.0, but needs to be in for 1.0. And you can imagine a lot of like Org 2.0 systems probably there. There's probably a lot of MMO features that are in traditional MMOs, quality of life things and org things. We still don't have mission givers back yet. Those are going to be in before 1.0. Probably, though they have not said anything. I imagine, and we're going to talk about also this a little bit later, so kind of not spoilers, but anticipation for Quantum is probably a 1.0 feature.
Mm-hmm.
If not a 1.0 feature, like that will be the last hurrah of 1.0. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff they have on top of the stuff they're bringing over this year from the Squadron that they need to add to Star Citizen before Star Citizen reaches even feature or content complete as Squadron is making its way through this year.